Welcome back to the channel. Aaron here from the Bitcoin Bros. Going to be getting into some strategy updates, Bitcoin updates, some Bitcoin Treasury company updates. Stay tuned. There's a lot of information, a lot going on. So I'm going to be trying to cover everything, get you guys brought back up to speed. Like and subscribe. We have new content coming out every single day. But we can see right here, Strategy has acquired 705 Bitcoin. They announced this yesterday on Monday for around $75 million, and they now hold around 580,000 BTC. And this is really impressive, not because they bought $75 million, because of how they bought the $75 million worth of Bitcoin. This came from STRK and STRF. So now they're laying off of the common ATM, and they're using both of these STRK ATMs, STRF ATMs, which are targeting the fixed income market. Remember, Saylor says he wants 1% of the $300 trillion fixed income market through these products. $3 trillion could come through these products, and that would go straight to Bitcoin. That would push Bitcoin's price up massively if we can actually demonetize the fixed income market into products like STRK and STRF. And Strategy had another huge announcement, STRD Stride, their new perpetual preferred stock offering. This is huge. Another vehicle for them to target the fixed income market. And you can see here how it's a little bit different than STRF. Very similar, but the only difference here is it's going to be a greater than 10% per annum dividend rate. The yield basis is going to be greater than 10% per annum. And the priority in liquidation is going to be above common stock, but below STRK. So it's a little bit different than Strife. And here's Saylor talking about it. And this is how he explains Stride. Let's go ahead and check out this clip.
Stride, of course, has another impact on our equity. When the equity capital markets are strong, Stride allows us to achieve a higher MNAV. But when the equity capital markets are weak, in the event that, say, our MNAV is less than 2 and we're not enthusiastic about selling equity, we could sell Stride in order to acquire Bitcoin until our MNAVs were to appreciate to 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can use Stride in order to support a much higher MNAV in lieu of using our equity ATM. Now, in an extreme case, where the MNAV were to fall to 1 or below 1 for the equity, Stride gives us the option to actually sell Stride and then buy our own stock back.
So you can see there how Saylor wants to use Stride in the future. We'll be covering more on Stride as there's more progress, as funds flow in, as they get an ATM for Stride and all that. Let's go ahead and get into the most actively traded US stocks. We can see Strategy coming in today at $1.66 billion. Still trading with some of the biggest companies in the world. Definitely good to see there. And if we look at where they're ranking in the top US market cap companies, they're currently trading at 388 at the time of this recording, $107 billion market cap, and they're up 3 spots today at 93. Why is this important? Because when they get included in the S&P, they'll be allocated funds based on their ranking in the S&P, which will give them additional funds to buy Bitcoin, which will be really huge for Strategy and push the stock price up even more. And this chart here is from Punter Jeff, and he's basically saying, look at the Bitcoin price right now. I believe it's actually higher than this, but at 105.5, Strategy will show a clear positive earnings over the last quarters by $7.3 billion. So this analysis here shows that Strategy will be included in the S&P 500 at the end of Q2. We've showed you guys those dates in the past, but Q3 basically means they could be included in the S&P and get that massive allocation for them to go buy more BTC. And then I also wanted to take a look here at MetaPlanet. MetaPlanet is currently rated number 2576 in the world market cap rankings, with a market cap at around $5.62 billion. So we have to keep an eye on MetaPlanet to see how they continuously climb up the ranks here as well, just like we saw Strategy do over the past couple of years. Eventually, MetaPlanet may become a top 100 company in the world, just like what Strategy is doing right now. So we'll be keeping you guys up to date with MetaPlanet as well, because they've been doing massive, and they just bought more Bitcoin here recently as well. And then we can see here the blockchain group, they bought 624 more Bitcoin for around 60 million euros. They're continuing to accumulate a massive amount of Bitcoin in a short amount of time. They basically started at the beginning of the year, and they already have 1,471 Bitcoin, and their stock has been the best performing stock in Europe. They've been doing really, really well, and they have 60 Bitcoin coming soon as well that they'll be able to stack. As you can see right here, they announced on May 26th, they could enable the acquisition of additional 60 Bitcoin, bringing the company's potential holdings to around 1,531 Bitcoin. So they may be buying more Bitcoin very, very soon. Then you have K33 here. They have made their first Bitcoin Treasury purchase, and they now hold 10 Bitcoin on the balance sheet. Shout out to K33. Looks like they're starting their Bitcoin strategy, and they want to build a balance sheet of at least 1,000 Bitcoin over time and then scale from there. And what's really interesting, all these smaller companies, the blockchain group, MetaPlanet, K33, Saylor, all these Bitcoin treasury companies, they have these aspirations to get so much Bitcoin. And the thing is, Bitcoin's price is going to go up really quick if all these companies continue to do this. So it's going to be really hard for all these companies to hit their goals. But the ones that are starting early, like Strategy, like MetaPlanet, like the blockchain group, like Saylor, they're going to have an advantage on all the companies that start years from now or maybe even next year to accumulate more Bitcoin, because they're going to drive the price up and cause a supply shock. And then we have SolarBank. They just announced a Bitcoin treasury strategy. And SolarBank is a leader in the distributed solar energy, battery storage, and clean energy infrastructure across North America. They're actually a Canadian company, and they're inspired by, you can see right here, they say MicroStrategy, and they're looking just to accumulate Bitcoin and put it on their balance sheet. So SolarBank, looking at their market cap, it's around 200 million CAD. And what I really liked when they made this announcement, the stock price did not blast off. So now I think people are waiting to see, are they actually going to execute on this strategy? Are they actually going to raise funds to buy Bitcoin? And if they don't do that, we're not going to invest. So I think the announcement of saying, hey, we're going to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve is not blasting stocks off anymore. But I think that's actually a good thing. We need to see these companies actually, put their money where their mouth is. And then we have GreenMerc. They established a Bitcoin strategy and treasury holdings. They buy 6.2 Bitcoin, and they want to buy more in the future. So they're just getting started. So that's really cool to see from Swedish GreenMerc. And then an update here from Marathon. We've been showing you guys a lot of different Bitcoin miners who aren't actually selling their Bitcoin. Marathon is accumulating BTC off of the Bitcoin that they're mining. Obviously, they have to sell some for expenses, but they produce 950 Bitcoin, and they have increased their Bitcoin holdings to 49,179 Bitcoin for long-term hodling. So good to see there from Marathon. And guys, I do want to talk about this website here, bitcointreasuries.net. It's really hard to keep up with all of these new companies that have been buying Bitcoin. I mean, there's new companies almost every single day now. And Bitcoin Treasuries gives you a great way to view all of these companies. As you can see right here, this is not a promotion or anything. This is just a pretty cool website that I wanted to share with you guys. And as companies buy more Bitcoin, they come in here and they try their best to update them. And one thing I want to say here is Bitcoin treasury companies are the new altcoin, guys. So this is my opinion. And when you think about it, all of the altcoins that blasted off in the past, whether it be 2021, 2017, that's how long I've been in the space, the Bitcoin went up, Bitcoin traded sideways, and then all that money when Bitcoin traded sideways got reallocated into altcoins because people wanted to try to get the 10x, the 50x, the 100x gains. And we saw that in the 2017 cycle and the 2021 cycle. Well, I think what's different in this cycle is this money isn't retail money that's dropping Bitcoin up. It's institutional money. It's ETF money. It's money flowing into MicroStrategy. A lot of the money that's coming into Bitcoin now isn't going to move, but it's in the traditional market. So we may see Bitcoin ETF holders, when Bitcoin is trading sideways and being boring, and they want to get a bigger gain, They may just trade their Bitcoin ETF for strategy. They may trade their Bitcoin ETF for MetaPlanet or for Similar or for the blockchain group or for Marathon. So you can see how these companies could be the new altcoins, because the crypto market may not do as well. Bitcoin dominance may continue to go up, and we could see some reallocation from the ETFs into the treasury companies, and that could cause 50x, 100x gains just off of the speculation alone. We've seen it in the past with all these altcoins, so we could see it with these Bitcoin treasury companies. So that is not financial advice. I just think this cycle may be different, and I think it may be the cycle of Bitcoin treasuries. But let me know what you guys think about that. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Really appreciate you watching all the way to the end. My name is Aaron from the Bitcoin Bros. I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.